Sickerton. Go on out there and kill them. Wipe them out. All of them. To the very last man. Violence. Brutality.
Trick-or-treaters are all dead. Isn't it beautiful? Take a walk in the cemetery. Get eaten up by cannibals.
Celebrate Halloween.
Love and kisses, Remy, baby.
What do you think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume? This is a way of life.
Hey, Ballbusters, Bates here with your friend and mine, Ray Mungus. And we're ready to get you cold slab, toe tag, and mailed home to your mama in a plastic bag on episode 26 of Whale Life Live. Are we Crystal?
Crystal, sir.
Ah, beautiful. Beautiful. That's
I was
cool.
like laughing. I was giggling at myself earlier when I was writing that.
Yeah, well done. Well done. How you doing tonight, Mr. No Sleep?
Pretty good. I seem to run better without sleep. Go figure.
Yeah, it's weird. You sound more lively and
Yeah, and
spry.
it's generally after like 6 hours of sleep or something like that. I come on and I sound like a fucking zombie.
You know what? As I said before, whatever works for you.
I'll figure it out one day.
How
How are you?
Keeping busy. Got a lot of fucking projects going on at work and house shit. So keeping very, very busy.
And move date's getting closer.
Yeah, it is. It's supposed to be next week. I was at the house today. There were actually people there working. It just seems like there's still a lot more to do. But I guess if they get a big enough team in there for the next couple of days, we should be all right.
Hey, good luck.
I mean, they're still, they still got to do touch up on paint on the entire house, and they got to finish the siding and finish the front steps, and there's a lot of shit that needs to be done.
Oh, hopefully that team comes, man.
And then once we move in, they still won't be done. There's still other shit they'll be doing while we're actually there. So I don't know when everything is going to be done, but it'll be nice to finally be home.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
All right. So last week we were not here. Reason why is power outage.
And internet outage as well, same time.
Yeah, on Mungus's end, we had a pretty gnarly storm here last week, and it knocked out power for him pretty good for what, 2 days?
Yeah, like we had the internet out most of the week. Like it would come back in spurts and then disappear entirely. You know, like generally when I was home from work, it would shut off, leaving me nothing to do. And then like I had ended up taking a nap thinking, hey, maybe the internet will be back. And then after my nap, I wake up to pitch black house. Everything is out. And apparently a tree had fell on a car. It took out some power lines with it. So That was fun. It was like I think it was probably about a day and a half without power, and it kind of sucked.
Yeah, we were lucky over in my area. We didn't have any. We had trees down, but nothing that impacted us. So we were good.
Yeah, I slept through the storm, so I don't even know what it looked like. Like I just completely conked out, and that was it.
I don't remember what I was doing. Oh, I know what I was doing. I was writing. No, I wasn't.
That would have been a really good segue, though.
I thought I was writing something. That must have been another storm, like the previous week.
Should have taken and ran with it, man.
Yeah. But yeah. So that's where we were last week.
Yeah, I hate missing a show. Like I always try to do whatever is in my power to get on and make sure it happens. I don't care how I feel, you know, or anything like that. I mean, we've had shows where we were really close to missing that I was ready to like record from my phone's Discord. You know, we're in different places when we record the podcast, so I was going to download the Discord app to my phone and still make the show regardless. But sometimes factors just like team up and go completely against you and rip you apart. And that was a fine example of one last week.
And you know what? It worked out. Tao was home anyway, so I spent the night with her.
Yeah, that's good.
So let's see. What else we got? We did a thing on Saturday.
We don't do a lot of things anymore because we're old men, but we definitely did a thing. I'm probably more excited about the thing than you were, but hey.
Yeah, I know. I was
your
kind
favorite drummer.
I was kind of pushing that one onto you, since that was more your thing.
The thing that we did on Saturday was we went to the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey to witness one of the handful of shows of the legendary horror punk rock band, The Misfits. They still play, but not the way we seen them. They originally broke up, I think, in 1982 and 1983, around that time. It was on a Halloween. I know that. And that's when Glenn Danzig, the original singer and the most popular member of the band, left. He went on, forged his own solo career and everything like that. And if you know anything about Glenn Danzig, he was very, very bitter about the Misfits, hated the bassist Jerry Only. They had court battles, all sorts of crazy shit. Long story short, hell froze over, and he got back together with the band to do some shows. Probably as a cash grab, but who fucking cares? As a diehard fan of Misfits, I'm interested. I'm down. Give me any of it. So, thanks to one of the other Way of Life members, LR, he was able to hook it up and get tickets to this legendary show. So we went to that, which was pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'm not a Misfits fan. I stayed for the whole show, but I was just kind of not really interested in the Misfits. I went for the band that opened for the Misfits, Suicidal Tendencies. I'm a much bigger Suicidal Tendencies fan than Misfits. I'm not a Misfits fan at all. I couldn't even name one of their songs right now if you asked me.
Yeah, but punk rock has never really been your thing. You always leaned more metal. You were like the closest you get to punk is thrash, and that's even a leap. Yeah,
no, punk's not my thing. I got no problem with punk. I just think a lot of it just is noise, but I guess you could say that about most music, especially metal. But it was an interesting show. It's cool to say that I saw it. I was there.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm glad that you decided, hey, fuck it, I'm gonna stick around. I'm gonna check these guys out, and just to give that a shot for somebody that's from an outside perspective. That's super low, but just sitting there and getting to say you saw that show take place is pretty awesome. And from me, who I've been a fan of the Misfits for, I can't even tell you when I got into them, to be perfectly honest. And I never thought I would see this day happen. And when it did a few years back in Chicago at Riot Fest, it was like, wow, I lived to see that day happen, but it's never going to happen again. And then it did in Las Vegas, in California, and Colorado, and finally they brought it home to New Jersey, where the Misfits was founded. So That's pretty awesome. We had amazing seats. Glenn sounded great. There was a couple technical difficulties throughout the show, and it was just like after I left the show, my ears were still ringing with the songs playing. You know, like it's something I'm never gonna forget, and I'm sure it's something Glenn's never gonna forget. And like, hate to turn this into a downer note, but apparently his mother had passed away the day of the show, and he still went out there and killed it. Like, it's so weird to me that, like, you know, like you would think somebody like that in a situation like that would be like, you know, that's it. I'm sorry. All bets are off, whatever. But he went out there, he put his all into it, and he seemed to be having fun. You know, like he was cracking jokes a little bit, you know, like when you could understand them, because he's very, very winded throughout the set, but
a little bit,
just a little bit. But you know, he's up there.
You know, he kept laughing at nothing before like he would start singing a song.
Yeah, I think they were like all kind of converging towards the back to discuss what they were doing. And I've seen the set list, and they didn't follow the set list at all. They were just kind of like winging it up there. There were songs they played that weren't even on the set list, so that was pretty great. And I don't know, like, somebody described Glenn's attitude was like surprisingly cheerful. Like he's never quite like that on stage, and I don't know if he was drinking that night or what, but he you know, he seemed to make the best of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've actually never seen Danzig live with any of his bands, so I have no idea what he's like live.
Honestly, he's kind of like embodies the image when he plays. You know, he doesn't really break character too much. You know, he's that very like empowering force. He always has that dark, broody look to him. To see Danzig like go out there and kind of have fun and just jam out with people, like, I don't know, it was different than any Danzig show that I've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know. It was my first one, so. But I guess as a front man, he put on a good show.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Like, he commanded that stage, and everybody was having fun. It was pretty great. Fucking Jerry Only sitting there sliding around the stage like countless times, throwing his guitars. Like, you know, okay, time for an encore here. I don't need this thing anymore. Just throwing it off the stage. Like, it wasn't like punk rock in the sense where you like destroy the stage, but it had a little bit of elements to it. They definitely were like targeting it back to the older days, being a little more chaotic, having a little more fun. So it was cool.
Yeah, Jerry, I think, destroyed at least 2 bases.
Yeah, easily. Like, but then again, with the ticket cost, like, I mean, he could probably destroy all the bases.
Yeah, and, he was just tossing them left and right. You know, no big deal.
Exactly. And fucking Doyle's off in his own little corner of the world, just like punching his guitar. I love that he does that. He kind of like stomps around the stage and punches his guitar the entire show, which is pretty hilarious. He's a menacing looking figure, to be honest.
Yeah.
And, you know, you could pretty much go on about how Lombardo played. You know, he was fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it until later that was Lombardo up there, because I knew right away that he wasn't playing with Suicidal. When I saw who the drummer was for Suicidal, I'm like, that's not Lombardo. I don't know who the fuck it was.
Yeah, and I'm very familiar with the songs, obviously. So like I mean, if you're gonna get a drummer up there to play, and like I've, you know, like a lot of Misfits fans know, a lot of their drummers have been kind of a revolving door. You know, throughout the years, they've had countless drummers that most people can't even name back in the 80s, and then a couple of staples here and there, but they never stayed consistent enough to throw one onto a reunion show. So like, who do you get in that moment? Maybe one of the best drummers out there, Dave Lombardo. Like, it makes sense.
Yeah, I guess it worked. I mean, it's definitely his type of, you know, fast, thrashy style of playing. So it was right in Dave's wheelhouse. I mean, that's all he plays. The only time he wasn't playing that type of, like, thrashy double bass type of music was, you know, his time in Grip Incorporated. But no, it worked. Definitely worked.
Yeah, for sure. I thought it like reached the pinnacle of Misfits drummers when I saw the Misfits play with Marky Ramone as the drummer. And I was like, yeah, this is pretty fucking cool. Like they had Jerry Only singing, playing bass, Marky Ramone on the drums, and Des Cadena from Black Flag playing guitar. And I'm like, how do you go wrong with that lineup? It was fantastic when I seen it, but like I'd like to go back in time and be like, oh yeah, well, guess what? You saw Danzig sing with them and Dave Lombardo drum for him. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Indeed. All right. Are you working on a review of that show by any chance?
I am. I'm hoping. I've been gathering a lot of things for it, and I'm gonna try to bang it out tomorrow for a Friday release.
Nice.
So deadentertainment.com on Friday if you want to know a little more about the show.
And just go there every day anyway this week, because we are up to, I believe, day 4 of my week-long 7 Days of May in May event, where we celebrate Angela Bettis in all her glory. And I believe today's article was about the movie Scar. So
that it was. And you know what? One small note about this whole Angela Bettis thing. I thought like this particular idea of yours was going to be more self-serving because you're a huge fan of it, and you'd probably be all over this if somebody else had come up with this whole idea. I have a Facebook friend who is all over your articles this week because he's actually challenged you as being one of the biggest Angela Bettis fans, but he hasn't met her. So I was going back and forth with him throughout the week, and he's like, "Oh, I want to compare movie collections with you and stuff like that." I was like, "All right, I'm gonna set you two up."
I mean, I don't have a big movie collection, but I mean, if it's an actor or an actress I like, you know, I see their movies. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you've been a fan of her since I've met you, like so. I mean, there's no doubting in that, and you can pretty much see it in the articles that you've been posting. So.
Yes, it was. They were a lot of fun to write, and I'm hoping people are enjoying them. I know they're all, you know, like overviews of old movies, but it's still a kind of a fun, unique event to do. And
not to mention, like, these movies are movies that sometimes you don't really think about. Like, for example, the Sick Girl review that you did, you know, the article. I was reading it and I'm thinking to myself, wow, it's been a while since I've seen that. And it probably has been, what, over 10 years now?
Yeah.
And it's crazy because you have these things in your collection, you enjoyed them in the time, and they kind of just, you know, collected dust for a while. And like, these things are making me want to go back and revisit them. And Scar, for example, like, I know that one wasn't as well received, like with your revisit, but I'm intrigued. You know, like, I'm intrigued to go and take a look into the movies that I may not have caught of hers.
If I had to recommend any of them, I would definitely recommend the TV remake of Carrie. Fuck me running. I don't understand how a TV remake of such an iconic movie and book it turned out to be so good. It's crazy how enjoyable that remake was.
Yeah, that's another movie that I haven't seen for years. Like, I bought it like way back in the day when I was hardcore collecting movies, and watched it maybe twice. So, like, I don't know, it's reigniting that spark, and I'm digging it. I'm sure it's doing the same thing for other readers.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope they at least, you know, seek out that movie and check that one out. That one was a very happy surprise when I rewatched it. I mean, it hit so many notes so well, and it was long. That's a long fucking movie, and it feels as long as it is, but I'll tell you, it's all worthwhile as soon as you get up to the prom. That prom scene, the build up to it, oh man, is it wonderful.
Yeah, when I was posting the social for that, I wanted to try to tag some relevant people who were in the movies and things like that. And, you know, I never knew that Brian Fuller wrote that. Brian Fuller, if you're not familiar, He basically put together TV's Hannibal, and if you're not familiar with that, you need to go fucking seek that show out and watch it now because it is unreal.
So yeah, so guys, please check out, deadentertainment.com today, tomorrow, the next few days. We're on day 4 of this 7-day Angela Bettis tribute.
What's tomorrow?
I don't know. I was letting Chris decide when to post what. Aside from the first day and the last day, I had plotted those out. But days 2 through 6, I was letting him just do whatever.
Well, actually, I know what tomorrow is. So, hey, peek behind the curtains. Tomorrow, I think the review of Roman is going up.
Oh, that was
a trippy one. Going through some of the movie while I was trying to find a good header image for it, I remembered some of it, and yeah.
Yeah, that was the toughest one to sit down and write about. Because I couldn't sit there and critique Angela's performance because Angela didn't star in the movie. She actually directed the movie. So I kind of had to critique her directing style. And the movie itself doesn't have a lot behind it. There's no driving force behind this movie. It's as paper thin as they come, but yet it's somehow engaging in a really weird way.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment, to be very honest. I seen that movie. I bought it when it came out because, I wanted to support like an indie horror type of movie. I want to say that it was written by Lucky McKee. I know it starred Lucky McKee. It was. And it was directed by Angela Bettis. Okay. And if you watch the movie, I remember a lot of it after going through I skimmed it a little bit to try to find some images. And, I remembered quite a bit of it, but I don't know, there was something that just kind of kept sucking you into it. You just kind of, you wanted to turn it off because it's very amateur, as far as color correction and some of the shots and things like that.
The transitions.
You want to turn it off and you're like, all right, I've had enough of this. But then, you'll reach a scene where you're just like, what the huh? And then you, for man, it's a trippy one.
I guess my biggest problem with it is it was a movie that tried to be grounded.
Reason you finished the entire movie, and you can't really put a number on it. I don't know if you did. I haven't read your article yet, but, man, it's a trippy one.
I guess my biggest problem with it is it was a movie that tried to be grounded, but in the most unrealistic way possible. I don't know, you guys, you'll just have to wait till tomorrow to read the overview on this one. It's if you've never seen Roman, it's definitely one of the oddest films I've ever seen. Put it that way.
Yeah, I'll agree.
All right, I think we've done enough yapping about.
Now it's time to start the show.
Now it's actually time to get into the meat and potatoes of the show, and as usual, we're gonna start off with horror news. Alright. So let's see, what do we got up first? We got some Resident Evil news.
Yeah, man. We're gonna fight a little bit over this, but
I don't know if I'm in a fighting mood over something so trivial as this. So if you guys haven't heard, we may be getting a Resident Evil television series. What it's going to entail, I don't think we really know yet, but it's looking likely that instead of a new movie franchise, we're going to get a television series. How do I feel about that? Okay. They can't fuck it up any more than the movies did, so go for it.
Wait a second, hold on. Back up here. Aren't you a big fan of the Resident Evil movies?
I'm a big fan of Mila Jovovich. There's a fucking massive difference between the two, all right?
I'm a big fan of hers as well, but I've only sat through 3 of those movies, and I couldn't take it. The part 3 was an abomination. I couldn't. There's only a few movies that I want to shut off, or have shut off, and it's House of the Dead, Uwe Boll's House of the Dead, and Resident Evil 3. It was fucking garbage. So yeah, you sat through 6 of them, I know.
The only one I actually haven't seen from start to finish was the final chapter. I've seen all the others. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And I saw all the others in the theaters, too. I couldn't do, I could not spend any more money on that franchise. It was just not happening. At least in the very first Resident Evil movie, which was what, back in 2002?
2002, yeah, I think it came out in the spring, right? So 2002.
At least in that original Resident Evil movie, we had one of the all-time best fucking original scores for a horror movie, composed by
Marilyn Manson.
Indeed. And that fucking score, man, oh my god, is it creepy. I love it.
Yeah, part 1 was... It had its moments. I was really turned off by, like, the real young and amateur, like, soldier people all throughout the movie. Like, they definitely got, like, a Dawson's Creek type cast to play seasoned soldiers for Umbrella. And you're just like, what the fuck?
Well,
but,
I mean, you had Michelle Rodriguez.
She was good. She was one of the only exceptions. But, like...
No, not one of the only. You also had fucking Brodsky from Jason X, all right? I can't believe I forgot the actor's name, because he also played a character named Doctore on the Spartacus series for many, many, many seasons, for like the entire series actually. And he's one of the highlights of that show. So and he's just such a great fucking actor, that dude. And I'm so sorry I can't think of his name, but you know, it's it's Brodsky. It's Brodsky.
To me, the cast was just very. It's just way too young for what they were trying to portray. They, you know, like they seem like they just got out of police training, let alone, you know, like a special forces unit of sorts, you know. But that's besides the point. There's so many other problems in that movie that we could go on an entire episode talking about it. But one thing that episode didn't fuck up was the ending, and the ending of that movie left me like I had chills throughout the entire like camera panning back in the city ruined by like a post-apocalyptic life or whatever you want to call it. And I was so pumped for part 2, and I was in the theater with bells on for part 2. And then they fucked that up, and they made Nemesis 5'2" and a slew of other problems. And that's pretty much where I gave out. You know, like I couldn't watch that series get fucked up anymore.
You know, just thinking about it, you know, you talking about Nemesis, we never actually got, like, a legit tyrant in any of the movies.
Another short sight.
Huh. Just kind of thought about that.
But one thing that I'm hoping that with this whole potential change to television is it's going to ground it a little bit more. It's going to have a lot more time to flesh out the characters, the stories, and kind of tell a tale that you didn't see in the movies. Frankly, because, you know, they can't go crazy CGI. They can't go crazy action in a television format unless they have a huge network behind them. But even then, you got AMC with the biggest show on television right now, Walking Dead, and half of it is just arguing with each other. And, you know, there's not a hell of a lot of budget put into that show. So, like, what's to say a budget would get put into a Resident Evil type of show? At least one that would match the action that's in the movies. I think going the action route is probably the worst thing they could do.
Well, you see the thing that Resident Evil really has going for it is it has a massive history and lore behind it, and they don't even need to jump into where the games you know begin. They can go years before the games even started and focus in on Spencer and the Ashfords.
Yeah, definitely. without a doubt. I mean, there's so much history in there that they could play with. And one thing that, you know, I was telling somebody on Facebook yesterday, this particular series could, like, if done well, it could probably exceed The Walking Dead at this point. People love zombie shows. There's no doubt about that. What they're frustrated with in The Walking Dead is the same continued format. You know, it's very formulaic show. You know, you get a baddie, you know, the baddie holds the good guys down so long, and then the baddie gets overcome, rinse and repeat. When it comes to the Resident Evil saga and the games and everything like that, sure, there's always a you know, a nemesis or a tyrant to fight at the end of the game, but the story continues. The villains evolve. There's science fiction in it. There's horror. There's gore, pure terror. There's all sorts of crazy stuff that they could play with that The Walking Dead is pretty much abandoned or not even touched upon at all. And I'm only comparing it to The Walking Dead because it's a zombie-related thing, and we're talking, you know, just the potential for a show like this to be successful.
Yeah, and the thing with Resident Evil is that it could be. It doesn't even have to start off as a zombie show. Zombies can be that prize you get in season 2 or season 3. You know, it could be that really nice slow burn, slow build up, and you could really learn all the backstory about how the viruses came to be. You know, the T virus and the T Veronica virus and the progenitor flower, and which is where the T virus originally came from. It was a flower. And, you know, the creation of the G virus, you know, all this stuff before you know, even the original outbreak happens in 1998. You know, there is a lot of backstory and a lot of interesting characters and lore that happened before July of 1998.
Yeah, I agree. And then the best part about going that route is come season 3, they could, you know, like season 3, it would be kind of that moment where either the show's hitting its stride or might need a little flavor injected into it. Hit the fans with the fucking original game. You know, show that exploration in that mansion. You know, have the STARS team descend on it. Obviously, without the terrible voice acting and dialogue and all that stuff from the original game. But imagine a season's worth of the original game. That would be incredible, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. I think even before that, I mean, you how about giving us the story of Bravo Team? You know?
Yeah, I mean, you could have an entire show based off of that.
I mean, you know, you don't have to jump right into the Alpha Team. Let's get Bravo Team. You know, let's see, you know, what happened to Bravo Team and Rico and Forrest and Kenneth and Richard and all those characters before Jill and Chris and Barry and Wesker all get to the mansion. You know, there is a lot of material. You know, we're talking, I would say probably a good 6, 7, 8 seasons of hardcore solid material.
Yeah, definitely. And the one thing that needs to be kept in mind, at least from a producer's, you know, like focus, I guess, is that the TV audience is significantly different than the mainstream movie-going audience, you know? And movie-going audience is evolving as well, because, like, take the Marvel films, for example. The movies have turned into episodic, you know, cinema. It's no longer, you know, like a gradual decline in part 1's great, part 2's part 3 just flat out sucks. It doesn't work like that anymore. I think Marvel and Disney, they changed the game. So, having that said, with television, you have to respect the fans a little more than when it comes to movies. And the Resident Evil franchise is a perfect example of trying to reel in the mainstream audience while giving the fans just a little bit of what's familiar. And it worked for this series. You know, eventually, like, for whatever reason, rather, they kept making a lot of money. In this particular case, they don't have to worry about that. They have to worry about ratings. And the best way to get the ratings is tell the stories that will not only keep the fans in the seats, but it'll also open up the world to the mainstream audiences that view television, you know, and give them kind of an insight of what we've been appreciating since the original game came out back in, what, 97?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, it's changing in the movie world too, but it's already there when it comes to television. So I think going into a potential television series, they really, really need to respect the source material. And if they don't, they're going to have another Paul W.S. Anderson situation on their hands.
Yeah, they just got to get the right showrunners on board. Maybe try to tap some of the guys who've been working on Daredevil for Netflix, you know?
I'd get Frank Darabont. He did The Walking Dead. He did a lot of Stephen King stuff, and when it comes to source material, he hits the point. I mean, that would be a great pilot, director, showrunner, to pretty much launch the series.
Well, this is all the news we have on it. It's just, you know, it's just rumors right now. It's nothing confirmed, but I could definitely see this going to the small screen rather than the big screen. So, when we get more news, we'll talk about it here. Moving on, Zombieland 2 finally is happening with the original cast and writers.
How do you go wrong? On the heels of both Deadpool's success, like, how do you not do a sequel to Zombieland?
Well, they should have did a sequel to Zombieland 5 years ago.
I agree. I definitely agree, especially after Batman versus Superman. It might have helped Jesse Eisenberg a little bit. But hell, I'm still down. I think these characters could still capture imaginations. And Lord knows the writers still got it.
You know, the first one was a ton of fun. It was very, very entertaining all the way through. You know, just like Shaun of the Dead or any good comedy-focused zombie movie. You know, Zombieland, Shaun of the Dead. My all-time favorite is Biozombie. It's a Japanese film. You know, if you do a good comedy zombie film, it's a great film. And Zombieland was one of them. And, you know, it's great that we're finally getting a sequel to it. It's going to be weird seeing these characters so much older now, though.
Yeah, I never really thought about it like that, but I think, like, what's her name? Wichita?
Yeah.
Was the young one? Like, that's going to be, like, the biggest shock to us, is seeing her all grown up. Because we're actually on the whole idea. The reason Zombieland 2 even popped up was Paul Wernick and Brett Weiss were in an interview for Deadpool 2, and they were obviously asked about it, and they want to do it in line with the 10th anniversary, which happens to fall October, I believe, 2019. So 10 years, man. They all have aged 10 years.
And now we can completely forget that awful TV show that never should have happened.
Oh my god, I forgot it. Thanks for reminding me. Oh my god, that was awful. Well, let me ask you this: do we what kind of comedian cameo do we want? We had Bill Murray. Spoilers. You had 10 years to fucking watch it. We had Bill Murray, and he emulated a Ghostbuster in that, which is pretty cool. Do we get another one? Do you kind of strike that well again, or do you kind of go a different way?
No, you do it again. You know who you do?
Who's that?
Christopher Lloyd. It's Doc Brown.
Mic drop. That would be incredible.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. You know, he Woody focused in on, you know, one 80s icon and you know, Bill Murray from Ghostbusters. Let's go to another one. Let's do Christopher Lloyd from Back to the Future, man. Keep the train rolling.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
So that's a, you know, it's another one of those news stories where this is all we got. But it has been confirmed. It is happening. I don't know. We don't have any concrete release dates. We just know it's going to be coming sometime in late 2019. And we got
they're talking. They want to get started filming in early 2019 for October release date.
well, I hope they start sooner.
Yeah. I mean, I think it could work for a comedy. I think they can manage.
I guess it depends on how heavy they go with with extras and zombie action.
Yeah, but productions and stuff like that last 20 days, something like that. I think they can manage. Then they have to worry about post production, but it's quite a bit of time for them to get a movie done.
Well, so we're probably not going to hear too much more on this for a couple months, but it is cool that it is finally happening. What else we got? So that Tremors TV series that Kevin Bacon was running and starring in, and was going to happen. Then it got canceled before it even aired its pilot episode. Well, they made a trailer for it, and it dropped about a week or two ago. And I watched it.
So did I.
And I don't know what to really say about it. Was it good? No. Was it bad? No, not really. It was just kind of meh. Yeah, it could have really went either way.
See, I'm not big on the whole Tremors lore or any of that. Those movies I've seen, I don't even know how many there are. I've seen a couple of them, maybe way back a long time ago before I could even remember.
There's 6.
6 of them. All right. So this was kind of like a fresh view on something that I haven't really involved myself in. And after hearing a little bit of the rumors and following production a little bit and having just a passive interest, trailer kind of knocked me on my ass here. It wasn't kick the door open great, but at the same time, it was a show that I could definitely watch. It looked like it was a lot of fun. It looked like it would be hilarious to watch Kevin Bacon play that role, just because it's I don't know. To me, the trailer had a cool vibe to it. It was Kevin Bacon in a way that you don't really see him in many films or television shows or anything. So I think it would have been a fun little journey. And it sucks that it's canceled before it even started.
Well, I guess networks didn't like the way the pilot came out. I mean, that's why you make pilots.
My guess on this whole thing is that usually when you make a pilot, you put a good chunk of change into it. You invest a decent amount of money to kind of get off on the right foot and impress the studio. And then when it gets picked up to launch, that's when the studio tries to figure out how they could cut down costs. And my opinion, I think they couldn't cut down enough to warrant the special effects and everything like that. I think it was for sci-fi. So with them putting all their money into Sharknado every other year, it kind of you kind of see why that theory would be a possibility.
Yeah, the network that would rather make fucking Ultra Gator versus Megapus will not pick up a Tremors TV series.
Yeah, like I said, I'm sticking to the whole potential of it being too expensive to go to series. I think it was just purely a money thing. Because I don't know, I thought the trailer looked all right, and a lot of people on the internet did too.
Them's the breaks sometimes when it comes to these shows. Not a whole lot you can do about it. So, the trailer's out there. It's on YouTube. You haven't seen it yet. Go look it up. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe you won't. It doesn't really matter because we're not seeing the show anyway. So, it is what it is at this point. Good try, Kevin Bacon. Maybe better luck next time. Maybe try to get yourself back into the movies. They're gonna make another one. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, why not at this point? And if you're really, really hard up for money, hit up Gun Media and Ilphonic. Maybe they'll toss you into the Friday the 13th video game.
There you go.
Boom. Hire me.
So we got some more casting news on It Chapter 2.
We got a lot of casting news.
Yeah, pretty much all the kids, huh?
Yeah, all but one. Mike Hanlon is still not cast.
But as of right now, we got James McAvoy as Bill, Jessica Chastain as Beverly, Bill Hader as Richie. That was an interesting one. I like Bill Hader. It was not my choice, but Jay Ryan as Ben. I don't know who that is. James.
Yeah, these guys are relatively new. These next few.
James Ransone as Eddie. I don't know who that is. And Andy Bean as Stanley. Now, Andy Bean, at least that name is familiar to me. I can't place him. I'm actually going to look him up right now, but I know the name.
Well, fans of James, or fans of horror rather, will know James Ranson from Sid the Sinister movies. He was in those. The other two, I'm not overly familiar with.
All right, so I guess I've just heard the name, but I'm not familiar with Andy Bean because I'm looking at his credits and I've never seen any of that shit.
But that's good though. You know, like I like the fact that they're not going full on familiar. You know what I mean? They're mixing it up a bit. They're having some relatively decent names, relatively big names, and then they're bringing in the newcomers for different roles. And everybody has to start somewhere. Not to say that these three actors haven't gotten their big break. They've been consistently working in Hollywood, but I don't know if they've gotten a break as big as It Chapter 2. So good on them for landing the role, and I like the fact that this might make stars out of them.
It could fucking, launch careers for people. If the movie's half as good as Chapter 1, they'll do all right.
Oh yeah, definitely. And with the cast that they've got going for them, they have some pretty strong actors able to toe the line in the case that, they're not so good. But I have full confidence that the director, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name right now, he knows what he's looking for and he's going to get exactly what he wants.
Do we have a release date or a release time frame for Chapter 2?
Good question. Stall for me while I look.
I stall for you. I expect you to know this shit. When I ask you a question, motherfucker, I want an answer. I don't want to have to play the stalling game.
September 2nd, 2019 is the release date of It Chapter 2.
I stalled pretty good, didn't I?
Pretty good.
September 2019. All right, so we're not... okay, no, we're actually further than I... Wow, we're like a year and a half away. Fuck.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I didn't realize that either. They gotta get shooting soon, man. These kids are gonna grow up.
Yeah, I mean, they could play their adult selves at this
Right.
point. But I don't even fucking care because we're what? We're like 11 months away from the next Avengers movie, so I'm happy.
Yeah, when I think It Chapter 2, I always think of Avengers, so I agree.
That's like my buffer for everything.
I know.
So, yeah, a year and a half, and we're missing one member of the Losers Club. I'm sure we're going to get that piece of casting news in the next month. I would say before July, we'll know who's playing Mike.
I'm thinking they're gonna go a big star with this one. I can't really name who, but I think they're gonna go with somebody that has some star power because Mike has a pretty strong role in the second half of the movie. I don't know how they're adapting it, but he's always been a pretty strong character when it came to the adults. So,
well, yeah. See, the thing is with Mike in the second part, he is. You need an actor that's got presence. I can't think of the actor's name who played him in the TV series, but he had presence. He had a look to him. And it was like you enjoyed when he was on screen, when he was talking. You loved everything about him. So you need an actor who commands that kind of presence. Now, immediately the first black actor that comes to mind, but I think is going to be too old. Not that it's a bad thing. I don't mean that in the bad way. Would be Idris Elba.
Yeah,
But
I was
you mean,
thinking him too.
yeah, you fucking, the running joke the last couple of years is Idris Elba gets fucking casted for everything. Doesn't matter what the role is. He gets the part. But also, you know what? I could see it being a Marvel alumni. I could see it being Anthony Mackie, Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman would be good. Michael B. Jordan, maybe.
Yeah. I could see it being one of these Marvel alumni. I mean, you talking star power? Who's better than fucking Black Panther and to a lesser degree Falcon?
Let's get Donald Glover in there.
It's just...
If you've seen his show Atlanta, that man can definitely take on a serious role. So don't cast him out just yet.
I think if he was younger, Don Cheadle would have been a great Mike.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm saying it now. It's going to be a Marvel alumni actor who's going to take on the role of Mike. So.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. I'm looking forward to hearing the casting news.
So I'm a firm believer we're gonna find out who he is before July. So we'll see if I'm right. I'm usually wrong about everything I predict. So
especially Avengers movies.
Yeah, I was way fucking off on that.
Can't win them all.
Way fucking off. But whatever. Still gotta make that other video.
Make it happen.
Cause I have some ideas but I was reading some rumors about that movie. I'm not even gonna get into it, but I don't know. That next movie could anything could happen.
All right, we're gonna have to talk about this after.
So, getting into tonight's main discussion. We finally got some screenshots and some set photos and stuff from the Devil's Rejects sequel, 3 from Hell. And, well, these screenshots really raise way more questions than they answer.
Good lord, do they?
So, we've seen all 3 of our heroes / villains, and that we've seen Otis, Baby, and Captain Spaulding. But it was the setting that they were in that really made all of us go, what the fuck? Now, we've all seen the end of the Devil's Rejects. We know what happens to these characters. These set photos are showing these characters alive and well, looking relatively healthy, in prison, and what seems to be in court. The fuck?
Yeah. So, first off, before we dive crazy into the photos, hold on a second.
Why is your alarm going off?
That's my alarm came off.
Why is your alarm going off?
I don't know. I have no idea. That's a weird alarm. But in any case, the one question that I want to pose right now is, what time frame are we in when you look at these pictures? What do you think? Are we in immediately after the Devil's Rejects? Or did they do a time jump?
No, there is going to be a time jump. I'm thinking... I don't know. I'm thinking anywhere from 6 to 12 months of a time jump. Because
months. I was thinking years.
I don't want to go years. I don't want to go years because I mean it looks like they're on court. Well, I mean maybe, but
Parole hearing.
yeah, no, there would not be a parole hearing for these people.
Yeah, just like there was not parole hearings for Charles Manson, which is what a lot of his story is based off of. I'm just playing with ideas here. I don't know for sure anything, but looking at these photos, we have actors who are, you know, when did they come out? 2005. They're well over 10 years older. So that's going to be a noticeable thing, and I don't think Rob Zombie has the budget for CGI de-aging. So I think it's quite possible that they survived the shootout and were locked up, and maybe this is some sort of like, you know, like if you're familiar with the Charles Manson murders, you've had continuous parole hearings and things like that. You've also had people try to get released from prison and things along those lines. So I'm wondering if he did like a 10 years later sort of thing.
Yeah, because I mean they all looked pretty healed up, but I mean there's no way anybody's surviving that kind of shootout. So
yeah, that's where my biggest question is.
And we already know, aren't they retconning the ending?
I don't know for sure. I mean, we've speculated that they might. I mean, it's easy to just like tweak, and I don't know, maybe they were shooting rubber bullets or something stupid like that. But that's my biggest mystery when it comes to how did they get from the end of Tales of Rejects, where they were about dead before they actually pulled up to the police line. Okay, that's not even before that's before the shooting started to happen. How they survived that is beyond me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's you don't want to go the cheap route and say, oh, well, the ending was just a dream. Maybe they didn't drive into the cops. Maybe they gave themselves up or something. You know, you don't want to go that route. That's the cheese route. You don't want cheese.
Or maybe not necessarily a dream, but kind of like a potential, like when they pulled up to the cop lineup, they had one of two options: to just sit there and accept their fate, or to go out guns blazing. And I guess everybody sort of fantasizes about having the balls to do that. And if any trio would have the balls to do that, it would be them. So that's why that ending's completely believable. But when you're like bleeding like a stuck pig at this point, like, do you even have that effort to go out like that? Maybe it's kind of like an alternate path that they actually went on. I think that would be a little bit cheap, but it would make sense.
Yeah, well, I guess my theory of you know, Dr. Satan being brought back into the franchise and resurrecting them is pretty much out the window.
Yeah, pretty much. But at the same time, I'm wondering if he has some involvement in general, because like when Rob Zombie was filming 3 from Hell, like during production, he was sharing little bits, you know, like Devil's Reject stuff and like information, things like that. And then he had shared a picture of Dr. Satan on his Instagram account. So maybe he was just adding that to the mix of everything. Or he was, you know, like maybe alluding to something.
Yeah, I don't know. He's doing a pretty good job at keeping us guessing right now.
And I mean, that's the way it should be. Like, I don't want the answer. As much as I'm like grasping at the straws to try to figure it out, I don't want the answer till I'm sitting in the seat. And maybe we'll get the answer in the trailer. You know, there's quite a possibility about that. But at the same time, you know, I miss the days where movies were a mystery. You know, like we went into these things pretty blind. Nowadays, there's like teaser trailers 1, 2, and 3, and then major trailers 1, 3, and you know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then the TV clips. And you basically see the whole movie. You're missing the connective tissue. So it'd be nice to go into this without a hell of a lot of knowledge, or if they decided to kind of try to swerve us in the trailer, which is always a good marketing tactic.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the trailer really doesn't reveal anything, but I know that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's tough in this day and age where they kind of want to show everything, and it's usually not the filmmakers that do it either.
No.
It's always the production companies and the distributors and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, we should be getting. I would say we'll get a trailer sometime in the fall.
Well, that's the other thing. He is currently not editing the movie.
Yep.
And he is not editing the movie till he gets back from his tour with Marilyn Manson, which ends late August, early September. So that trailer might be coming in the spring. Like at a perfect scenario, he's going to edit the movie through the new year. We'll get the trailer in the spring. We'll get the release in August, like the original Devil's Rejects.
I don't know. I could see us getting some type of teaser trailer on Halloween.
I mean, yeah, that's good. That's possible. I mean, that would be perfect. I would welcome that. But I don't think we're going to get a major trailer until like spring of 2019.
Whatever. I'll wait. I'm looking forward to the movie so much, so I'll wait.
Yeah, that's what I said in my article, which if you're listening on YouTube, I linked in the chat. Check it out. But I said in the article, basically, we waited this long for a sequel we never thought we were going to get. What's another year?
I just hope Zombie delivers, man.
Yeah, that's all we could hope for. And you know what, man? Like, even if the movie is disappointing, I'm just excited to see those characters again. I never thought that I was going to ever get a chance to see them on the screen again or anything like that. I recently found out there were some Devil's Rejects comics, which I really want to like seek out and get my hands on. Just because I love the characters, I love the lore, I love the story from both movies, and I just want to experience more. And I think if I get that and it's not a completely Uwe Boll fuck up, I'm going to be content either way.
We got lots more time to speculate and ponder over what's going to happen.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, if you haven't checked out those photos, go do so now. They're amazing looking. They show Otis, Baby, and Spaulding. Spaulding to a lesser degree, you kind of get his profile, but it's all good. You know, we get to see the three of them, how they look now.
All right, you got anything else to say about this? Or are we ready to move on?
I'm good.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to this week's comic and geek news. All right, so starting off this week, we got we're gonna hammer these out pretty quick tonight. Looks like we have a rumor for the Daredevil Season 3 villain. Possibly finally introducing Bullseye, being played by Wilson Bethel. I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, I'm not overly familiar myself, but with so much mystery around this, you know, the filming, all we really knew was Matt's alive and Wilson Fisk is returning. Nothing else. So it's pretty cool that we're getting a little bit of details being kind of leaked out there, at least speculated upon that we might be seeing proper Bullseye done on the series.
It's hard to do a proper Bullseye. Now, Bullseye's a really brutal character, but he's always had really goofy costumes. So I don't know how exactly they're going to tackle that aspect of the character.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did pretty well with Elektra. So, I mean, that's something. I was never big on the whole all-red costume. You know, like I thought they did a decent job on that, and you know what? They could go the Daredevil movie route and give him a trench coat or something like that. At least it's not going to be Colin Farrell.
Yeah, but I don't want some stupid like tattoo on his head.
Yeah, no, I got you on that. Totally with you.
Well, it's, you know, as far as season 3 for Daredevil goes, all I wanted was more Wilson Fisk. I just needed more D'Onofrio as fucking Kingpin in my life. I've never fallen in love with a villain as much as I did his character in season 1.
Oh yeah, D'Onofrio was amazing. I was a big fan of the Purple Man in Jessica Jones. So I mean, they're killing it when it comes to villains, and that's not to take anything away from, you know, D'Onofrio. He was incredible. Like, I never thought a villain like that would exist on one of these shows, and or movies for that matter. And my God, like, you thought Private Pile was his his swan song or whatnot? No, we were sadly mistaken. Not until you seen Wilson Fisk.
Yeah, so that's what I'm looking forward to the most. I can't wait till we get a season 3 trailer and we just get to see just some glimpses of him back. You know, we got a little bit of him in season 2, and that was great, but I need Kingpin in every episode. I do.
Same here, man.
So we could get Bullseye and Kingpin. I like it. That's a good combo.
Deadly one at that.
But it makes you wonder what story arc they're gonna kind of go with. I was hoping that they may attempt to do a Shadowlands arc, but I guess with how much they've used the hand lately, that going the Shadowlands would be, I guess, overdoing it, and doesn't look like we're getting that. But we'll get something good. I mean, season 1 and season 2 were both phenomenal. And I got no reason to think that season 3 won't be as good.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I mean, the show is incredible. There's nothing wrong with it, and they haven't disappointed yet, so there's no reason for me to believe otherwise.
All right, so Deadpool 2 opened up this past weekend, and it started off its theatrical run with a $300 million worldwide opening.
Kind of crazy for an R-rated movie.
Did not break the record. I believe it came in second. And, you know, the record holder is actually the first Deadpool movie.
Tough competition, I gotta say. But it did break one record.
Which one?
The one that was held by Stephen King's It that came out last summer? I don't even remember when it came out. But in any case, it had the highest grossing R-rated film opening day of all time, which dethroned it, which is pretty cool.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
All right. Well, right now, the movie is sitting at a cool $324 million worldwide, and it opened with about $125 just on the domestic side. So, movie's doing pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I've been hearing nothing but great things out of it. Thankfully, I haven't had anything spoiled for me yet. Don't do it or I'll kill you. But I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm going to be seeing it this weekend, and I don't know, maybe I could drag Bates out to it, and we could talk about it next week's episode, possibly.
Maybe. That could be a thing.
Ooh, we're going to do 2 things in a month? That's nuts.
I know. So many things.
Right on.
And since we're just talking about box office real quick, just, you know,
Gonna update us, are you?
quick total. Right now, Avengers Infinity War is sitting at 1,841,000. It still has a very good chance to hit 2 billion. Just needs a few more weeks in the theaters, and it's gonna hit 2 billion. So
That's intense. That's something else. I want to if the Disney folks are listening, like, can you give me some of that money? Like, let me retire early so I could do this for a living.
It's just a juggernaut of a movie. It's just you're not stopping it. All right.
Unless you're Deadpool 2, who dethroned that this week, which is pretty cool. I mean, granted, we're what, 3 weeks, 4 weeks out, but of course, you know, the Merc with the mouth took a beating, or gave a beating to Thanos in the theater.
Yeah, I mean, it sat at the top of the box office for 3 weeks, so it had its run. So keeping on with Marvel.
Surprising.
Yeah, right. Jake Gyllenhaal, apparently rumored to be in talks to play Mysterio in the Spider-Man Homecoming sequel.
I was not expecting Mysterio to be the villain, and that might sound like I have some problem with Mysterio. I never thought I would see the day. You know what I mean? Like I have no issue with Mysterio being the main baddie in this one, but came out a little left field, which was pretty interesting. And Jake Gyllenhaal to play him, another shock to me.
Well, I'm 100% okay with this, and I'll explain why real quick. So, before Homecoming, we had 5 Spider-Man movies. All right, we already got the Green Goblin. We already got a second odd version of the Green Goblin in that same, in the Raimi series with Harry Osborn.
Mm-hmm.
We got Doc Ock. We got Sandman. We got Venom. We got all those characters. Then, I guess we don't really have to count Venom. Let's not count Venom.
We're gonna forget that one.
Yeah, all right. We're forgetting that one. Then we got
sorry, Topher.
Then we got Lizard. We got Electro, and we got another version of Harry Goblin. So I think they wanted to kind of do a character we hadn't seen before, so they gave us Vulture, and I think they fucking knocked it out of the park. Michael Keaton, awesome. Character was great. Really felt for the character. It was a great villain. And then, I think a lot of fans have always wanted to see Mysterio. I know I have. I always loved Mysterio on like the '90s show, and the couple of times I would read comics and Mysterio was in it. And the thing is like Spider-Man has a pretty massive rogues gallery, but who are you gonna get that's really recognizable at this point? You're not going to do a Spider-Man Homecoming sequel and have Hydro Man as the villain, or Alistair Smythe, or Grey Gargoyle. You're not having these characters. So I think going with Mysterio was a good call. I think, we also got Shocker, technically, in the Homecoming. In Homecoming.
We did. Yeah, we did.
I think Scorpion would have been kind of a cool character to introduce. Chameleon.
Well, we still might get Scorpion at some point because he was, in the post-credit scene.
Yes, that's right. I completely forgot about that. And
I wonder if we're going to be getting Scorpion too. That's an interesting question.
And technically, we did also get Rhino and Amazing Spider-Man 2, but we're not going to discuss that.
We're not counting that either. Let's just not count those movies. Though I did like Jamie Foxx as Electro.
All right, that makes one of us.
I'm a fan of his. I don't know what else to say.
But yeah, I think Mysterio and Scorpion would be a really cool combination of villains to deliver us, 2 villains we've never seen before on the screen. I don't think you could really go wrong there. And I'm hoping that down the line, for the next Spider-Man movie after this one, I'm really hoping that they introduce Blade and we get a Morpheus movie.
Yeah.
Morbius. Sorry, I don't know why I said Morpheus. Morbius.
You took the red or the blue pill.
I think Morbius would be a really cool character, a really great story arc for the movie, and a great way to introduce Blade into the MCU.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was gonna say one of your go-to villains that you always wanted was Kraven.
Kraven, oh my God, yes.
Would be amazing, and I'm sure we're gonna get there at some point. But like, imagine like Kraven the Hunter with Man-Thing.
Man-Thing. Man-Thing's not a villain.
Not Man-Thing. Hold on.
You're talking about there's
the spider version of Spider-Man, but like I'm just saying the concept of him hunting would kind of be interesting if they had that sort of thing going on.
Yeah. All right, I know what you're talking about. You're playing off the story arc from the '90s TV show.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, that would be
a
cool.
little bit of a stretch, but it would be interesting. I really want the vampire, the vampire storyline with Morbius. That would be incredible. But I'm very cool with Mysterio, especially like with his, his whole powers and everything like that. I think it's gonna be visually interesting. It's gonna be something we haven't seen, like you just finished saying, and it's the way to go. Like, stop trying to bark up the trees of the villains that we've seen already and trying to improve them, because they all comes off awkward, and it's like, oh, didn't he fight these guys already? And I don't know, it's confusing enough. So like, let's start introducing new characters and making them stars, and I think they're heading in the right direction. Now, one thing I want to say real quick about Jake Gyllenhaal, though, is I think this role is going to be one of his standout and most challenging roles to date. I mean, he's played some interesting characters over the years, but I don't think this is exactly in his comfort zone. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see how he plays this.
That's if he gets the part.
Yeah, I mean, the talks seem to be pretty far underway, and I mean, if you remember back with the first movie, Michael Keaton was in talks to play Vulture for a long time, and then he dropped out, and then he came back. So that's a good thing. So who knows what the future is going to hold for Gyllenhaal? If you remember, he also was rumored to be playing Batman in Matt Reeves' upcoming The Batman film, and that all came crashing down too. So who knows?
Yeah, that feels like a movie we're just never gonna see.
Yeah, I know. And this whole casting announcement has gotten gotten DC fans, their panties are in a bunch, I'll tell you.
Really?
They want Jake Gyllenhaal as Bruce Wayne. They don't want, and it's even more of an insult to them that he's jumping over to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So that's a whole nother story, though. To
play like a B-level Spider-Man villain.
Yeah, but like, what are your odds of success here? You know what I mean? Like, you have to go in with a fucking shield when it comes to the DC universe. So, I mean, this is the safer bet.
Well, the what I think is going to end up happening is I think they're going to do 2 or 3 of these Spider-Man movies and do these villains we've never seen before on the screen before we start getting the Goblins and the Doc Ocks again. I think fans are still so pleased with Alfred Molina's portrayal of Octavius in Spider-Man 2 that it's not a character we need to revisit yet.
You know what? Revisit him and bring Molina back. They could do it.
They could. I think that would just confuse people, though.
You know what, man? I don't like that statement simply because it's like that's something the studio would say. Well, how are they gonna figure it out? We're not fucking stupid, man. You know what I mean? Like, a good actor is a good actor. Change it up. Give him a little bit more of a comic book version of Doc Ock, and like let him put on the same kind of performance, and there you go. I think comic book fans at this point in time, especially with the studios not spoon feeding everything to us, we're smarter than that.
Well, we also got to see if we're getting a Spider-Man Peter Parker cameo in the Venom movie. Then we might have an idea of where the franchise is going.
And on top of that, we have to also see how big of a role Carnage is in the Venom movie, plus all the other symbiotes that are rumored.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces right now in the Marvel world. A lot.
Tons. But as usual, all we have to do is sit back and hope for the best and
Let Fahey take care of it.
Exactly. There's another rumor going around too.
What about Keaton's character?
Yes, sir. Like he might be coming back for the sequel.
Well, you know what? That rumor has been around for almost since the movie came out.
Really?
Yep.
I figured that they would just pack him away. I didn't think he would, unless they're just doing it for the sake of bridging the gap, and his role is not going to be as big as we're thinking it might be. But at the same time, it would be interesting if he was kind of like taunting Peter Parker throughout the movie, you know, because he does know his identity. So, I mean, it'd be interesting if maybe he's even the mastermind behind forming, you know, like, because he, at the post-credit scene, he talked to Scorpion. So, like, that might be Keaton playing the game of chess to get all these people to go after him for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, he could end up being, you know, maybe the third movie ends up being Keaton spearheading, you know, a Sinister Six.
That'd be interesting, and he's a hell of an actor to do it. His portrayal as the Vulture was just, that car scene when they're on the way to the dance.
Oh yeah,
that's one of the best scenes in like cinema history. Like, I'll say that right now. It is. I'm getting chills thinking about it. It's that intense.
Yeah, no, it's a great scene. And, you know, good movie. I need to rewatch it. I only watched it once in the theaters, so I need to give it another rewatch. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, when I got my my new TV, I popped it on to just kind of like fuck around with the picture settings and you know, check out the sound bar, put my sound bar on, tweak the settings just right, flip channels, boom, Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm like, yeah, I think I'll watch this. A nice 55-inch 4K TV. Let's do it.
All right, so I think that about wraps it up this week for all the news and goodies going around, huh?
Yeah, it does. And you know what, man? I thought we were going to go significantly longer, but
yeah, me too.
We were fucking on time, and we did well. Pat ourselves on the back.
I was getting ready to start messaging you. You know, all right, we're cutting this out. We're cutting that out.
I was about to do the same. I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to nix the whole superhero segment this week.
I was thinking the same thing.
See, this is why we do a show together.
Fucking wavelength, man, wavelength.
Yes, sir.
All right, so what do we got to shout out this week, guys? We got a giveaway going on at deadentertainment.com right now.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot that. I was about to say nothing. We have a cool giveaway.
We have partnered with our buddies over at Gray Matter Art, and we are giving away a beautiful Army of Darkness poster from Gray Matter Art. So, you want a chance to win it? Go to the website. Go. We'll wait.
I'm actually going to get the links for you guys right now, and I'm going to post them in the chat. And click them, follow the rules, and you could win one of two posters. You can't win both because fuck you. I can't even win one, so like, be grateful that you can only win one. So I'll get the links, and I'm going to put them in chat. So bear with me.
I was going to do my giveaway this month as well, but I decided to put it off until next month. Because with the house shit right now, I got too much to worry about to deal with the giveaway at the moment. So hopefully the middle to end of June, I'll be settled and I can actually focus on, you know, setting up a nice giveaway for you guys. Haven't done one in a little while, not since the Friday the 13th Part 2 poster giveaway that Chaotic Notes won. And we'll hopefully be doing another one in about a month. I'm sure you guys understand, you know, the house shit has really got me busy and preoccupied. So we'll see it in a couple weeks. We'll see a giveaway in a few weeks from my side.
Yeah, it's super cool of you. And you guys aren't going to win that one because I am. I've been saying that for months, but good luck trying.
We'll see. We'll see. I am gonna let Mungus enter in on this one because he has been eyeing that poster for a very long time.
Speaking of gray matter art, did you see that Deadpool print that got put up?
Yes.
Oh, my paycheck's gonna hurt next week.
That should only be a $45 poster though. Maybe cheaper.
Next week's rent week, so it's gonna hurt.
Yeah. Well. So, yes, guys, check out deadentertainment.com and enter in the giveaway to win an Army of Darkness poster. And, check out our buddies over at Gray Matter Art. If you don't win it, just go buy it. Just fucking buy it. Why you gotta win everything? Why has it gotta be free? Spend a little money. I know you people make enough money. Fright Rags has got some cool collections going on this month, including a House of a Thousand Corpses collection going on. I think there was also a Killer Clowns one, and a few other good ones. A Creepshow 2. They got a Creepshow 2 collection going on this month as well. So check out Fright Rags if you're looking for some really cool horror apparel this month. And yeah, I think that's all I got. I still haven't really written down all my shout-outs. I say it every week. I'm going to do it eventually. I will. And then you will all be surprised. What you got?
Nothing. But
shocking.
Yeah, I know. If I decide, or not if I decide, but if I happen to pull off this Misfits article, check out deadentertainment.com. This Friday, I'm aiming to get it up this Friday. I have a bunch of cool pictures that I kind of gathered from a ton of Misfits fans who were in attendance. Now, I just want to stress, pictures are like blood money when it comes to the Misfits show, because they introduced this new technology, which is basically a phone purse called Yonder. So essentially what they do, this was a pictureless show. Like you weren't supposed to have your phone. So when you enter the building for the concert, they lock up your phone into this green pouch coin purse type of thing, and you can't unlock it unless you go to the station that's in the lobby. So you can't.
Or you pry it open like I did.
Yeah, you pry it open. I was gonna get to that. You can't use your phone. You can't take videos. You can't take pictures, and that was kind of great because we didn't have to sit there and watch the concert through people's fucking iPads, which was nice.
Well, except one guy. Danzig did yell at one guy.
He did. But on the same token, this is a punk rock show. You're not gonna restrict people, and people tore their cases and pried it open and still managed to get pictures. And I basically spent the first couple of days of the week just messaging people constantly about using their photos. So I'm gonna have a really cool gallery of photos on the article. I was going to have some video. However, Glenn Danzig isn't too happy about that, and he's been issuing takedown notices that are giving people strikes on their YouTube account. I have a bunch of videos saved, but I am not posting them. Maybe once this whole Misfits thing cools down, I'll put them up on Dead Entertainment's YouTube channel. But for now, all you get is pictures and me babbling about it. So, deadentertainment.com, Misfits this Friday.
Yeah, and to quote Danzig from that show, if you want to take a picture or two, that's cool, but don't make a fucking career out of it.
And hilariously enough, I'm, I don't know, maybe making a career out of it or something like that.
All right. Well, that was a good comeback episode after a week off.
Yeah, feel good.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. If you like what you saw, make sure you hit the subscribe buttons over on the Way of Life Network. Also, my channel. I am dual streaming this one tonight. Again, make sure you to visit deadentertainment.com. Get in. Probably be better to go ahead and subscribe also on deadentertainment.com's YouTube channel. And also my channel. I am dual streaming this one tonight. Again, make sure you to visit deadentertainment.com, get in on the giveaway, read the articles. 7 days in May, we're on day 4, so that means day 5 comes tomorrow. A few more days of this, and then I'll have to start thinking of new content to write. It was nice having a break for a little while, but gotta get back on the old horse. I got a couple of ideas for some small articles in the coming months. But nothing major yet. I haven't really had any breakthroughs on something cool to write.
We're gonna have a cool theme next month. I think E3 is next month, so we're gonna be leaning a little heavier into video game articles next month. Hopefully, if everybody is down with it, we're gonna have some really cool Twitch streams, maybe some retro game nights where. Basically, my idea with it was I wanted to watch Brandon, our Twitch streamer, play like Friday the 13th for NES and Nightmare on Elm Street for NES. So I was like, hey man, like, you want to play these old ass emulators on stream? And he was all about it. So we're looking into doing that. We're looking into getting some multiplayer games going on. Friday the 13th is getting an update tomorrow. So there's going to be some of that happening in the next week, but we're basically pushing June to be kind of video game themed. So if you're into that, keep an eye out. You're going to find some cool content.
There you go. I will be streaming Friday the 13th tomorrow after the update drops, and I'll probably be streaming that for a couple days. Messing with some of the new content. Not that there's a lot of new content aside from a new counselor, but there's a lot of changes and updates being made to the game, and see if it fixes some things. It's not the major engine update that the devs have been promising us. That's probably still another month, 2-3 months away. But this is something. So it should be fun. So I'll be streaming that tomorrow. I usually start around 9, but I'll probably start earlier, maybe 7 or 8 o'clock tomorrow, and we'll go for a couple hours. So.
Text me because I'm not going to be doing anything tomorrow, so I might join you.
Cool. So thank you guys one more time. Make sure you hit the subscribe buttons and visit deadentertainment.com. That is most important. One more time, thank you everybody. And yeah, remember.
What do you think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume? This is a way of life.